Welcome, everybody. The actions E.DSO announced 2 months ago in support of DTEK of Ukraine have been achieved. And we are going to tell you in the next few minutes what we have done and how we did it. This will be done with the help of those colleagues who have directly helped in realizing the first actions in favor of the Ukrainian crisis. So the country, Ukraine, is still at war, and help and support of our local members will continue, even if it is growing more difficult by the day. Obviously, we all trust that a pacification process might be started soon, so as a gradual reconstruction of the huge damages that have been inflicted to the Ukrainian population and the Ukrainian industrial infrastructure, especially the electric grid. I'm Roberto Zangrandi. I'm the Secretary General of E.DSO, and today with me are the representative of the companies that have started helping right from the first moment our colleagues in Ukraine. Before hearing of them, I would like to have on the screen Tseni Varfi. She is the E.DSO Policy Director. And Tseni, you have been in the lead of the coordination team within E.DSO and trusted to collect urgent needs and arrange first reactions to that. In a nutshell, what did you do for our colleagues and what was your experience in these?
Thank you, Roberto, for having me here. I would like really to first to start with expressing my gratitude to the remarkable and swift support of E.DSO members to DTEK colleagues and their families. What happened is the day after the invasion on 25th of February, already E.DSO decided to set up a coordination team operating 24 hours. The team was managed by E.DSO Secretariat, but in collaboration with the E.DSO members. And the objective was really to act as a coordination assistant hub between the members and the Ukraine representative DTEK. What happened exactly is filtering any request we receive from DTEK timely in terms of logistics, but also human support. We coordinated the delivery assistance by ensuring rapid deployment of emergency support up to now, 2 months after the invasion.
Thank you very much, Tseni. I'm now bringing to the screen gradually our members, those who have helped us right from the first moment. And I would like to ask Richard Widlichka, an E.DSO Board of Director members and the Manager of Innovation of NDU projects with Chess Group of the Czech Republic. Richard, how many DTEK families you managed to help in the first weeks of the conflict? And is that the only thing that you did in favor of our Ukrainian colleagues?
So hello, everybody. I also thank you for having me here. And we managed to accommodate 96 family members from our Ukrainian colleagues in the Czech Republic. And I am proud that all DSOs do as much as possible to create conditions for them for longer stay in the Czech Republic. And your second question, here in Czech Republic, we try to coordinate also technical support to DTEK company with other members, and we delivered 2 generators. The installed output is 200 kilovolt ampere each, and we also observe situation how we can technically help to keep Ukrainian grid running.
I've got a last question for you, Richard. What are the main difficulties that you had to face as a manager of a distributor in handling this? Coordination, logistics, support from others, DSOs?
So exactly, you mentioned logistics, Roberto, and that was the crucial point because in these days, we had to collect the proper information, especially information about the security situation on the border. And for that reasons, we had to change our plans also and to harmonize all the steps with Ukrainian colleagues.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that this view can be completed now by Mindaugas Pranaitis. Mindaugas is the head of innovation and service development at E.DSO in Lithuania. What is the collective value of an association like E.DSO that you could detect in the actions that we promoted in favor of our Ukrainian colleague, Mindaugas?
Okay, hello, Roberto and colleagues. And belonging to the E.DSO organization allowed us to adjust the list of essential measures, such as diesel generator and others, in less than 48 hours. In addition, the direct involvement of company executives, who are also members of E.DSO board, had led to quick decision. In general, E.DSO has acted as an excellent coordination platform in this complex and uncertain situation with Ukraine.
Yeah, thank you very much for your words. I wanted to show now a few of the heavy equipment pieces that have been put together and set up for transport in Ukraine already during the first week of the conflict there. And all our bordering members have been crucial in accomplishing this mission. How would you describe your future involvement in Ukraine, Mindaugas? You have been very active. You have been very close. You have got a strong sense of and shown a very strong sense of solidarity here. What is your commitment now?
Yeah, we as a DSO, as DTEK's peer, gathered the need for the tools most needed for our Ukrainian colleagues, like fire extinguisher, power banks, first aid kit, and others, and sent them in cooperation with other companies and institutions in the Lithuanian energy sector. Employees of our company accommodate families from Ukraine in their homes, so it becomes not only company-to-company relation, but more than it becomes human-to-human solidarity. We have also recruited several Ukrainians into our company and look for new opportunities to do. We are looking for different forms and ways to help and contribute.
Thank you very much, Mindaugas, for this. And in terms of active solidarity and active help, let me bring Luis Varecunha in the conversation. Luis, welcome here. And you are Director of European Policies and Projects with E.DSO of Portugal, the distributor of the electric EDP group. And we are happy to have you here because you have organized something gigantic there. You managed to deliver over 30 tons of material in a couple of weeks to the Ukrainian colleagues. Can you elaborate a little bit on this? What were the main drivers that brought you to put together such an amount of material and dispatch it right away?
Thank you, Roberto. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the question. I would say that first started by saying that I believe that is, I'd like to say this, but I believe it is a drop in the ocean. I think that we have done our best. We are trying to do our best, but we understand by the pictures, by the TV that we see in TV that the situation is very difficult right now in Ukraine. But you asking about the drivers, and as for the drivers, I believe it was a confluence of three main drivers, I would say. First of all is the fact that we work very well together within E.DSO. So good practices were the starting point for all this situation. The second one is the fact that EDP Group, in this case EDP Portugal, E.DSO Portugal and E.DSO Spain, are very committed to support the situation in Ukraine, and we are doing our best with different initiatives in our different locations across Europe. And finally, I would say the fact that we operate in very difficult and challenging situations, and we know how difficult it is to manage a network. And we can even imagine the situation right now in Ukraine. So based on this, I think we quickly analyzed the list of requests from DTEK and tried to find out what will be the best options for delivering them the right materials. So we select some materials from medium voltage and low voltage networks just to start rebuilding what we call networks of proximity. We know that this is not enough, but we believe this with this kind of actions from E.DSO members, we are doing a good job in helping the rebuilding of networks in such a difficult situation.
Yes, thank you very much for this detailed illustration. Network of proximity, that was the most important thing to secure, undoubtedly in the first phases of the action granting to keep the lights on a way. And on this, we have also direct experience from Thorsten Knopp. Thorsten is head of European regulation with E.ON SE. Thorsten, your company has got 4 countries in its portfolio with DSOs in those countries that are bordering physically with Ukraine. How could you see this challenge, and how could you assess what were the priorities there? We can hear you.
Thank you, Roberto. That's true. E.ON Group operates DSOs in 8 member states of the European Union, and 4 of these are bordering directly on Ukraine. That's Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. And I think we complement all the efforts that we also support of other E.DSO members by doing the service of a DSO directly to refugees and especially refugee camps. Our colleagues have connected dozens of refugee camps in the past weeks. In Slovakia, more than 15. In Romania, many more. In Warsaw, where we operate the electricity DSO, the population has risen by 17% in the past 2 months. And all these people need energy for a decent life. And that's what we are doing. We're ensuring that they get energy, that they get it quickly, and that we're responding to these connection requirements. In order to underscore that, our CEO, Leo Birnbaum, together with Victoria Osatnik and Johan Mernstam, and Johan is vice chairman of E.DSO, visited the colleagues in 3 out of these countries 2 weeks ago to extend a particular thanks to them, and spent 3 days just learning about the specific challenges, how a DSO can serve lots of refugees that are coming in. This is only one aspect of our corporate citizenship. The other 2, of course, we are giving direct money, we are providing material support, and we are also enabling our colleagues to devote their time to support refugees in many different ways.
Thank you very much, Thorsten. And I would like to complete the landscape of the E.DSO members participating into the Ukrainian support action, and I would like to talk about E.DE. E.DE is the distributor of Iberdrola, Redes Eléctricas Inteligentes of Spain, and they did put the disposal of their government, their training campus in Sant Agustín del Guadalix, and rendered it available to those Ukrainian refugees that are welcomed in Spain. And this is a training center, and we'll stick to the mission of training. Here, Spanish language will be taught in an accelerated way, and skills adapt to find a job in Spain for these refugees also will be taught. The capacity is some 100 people per, let's say, per shift in this training center, and the initiative has been particularly welcomed by the Spanish government. Here you see the training center illuminated and lighted in the colors of the Ukrainian flag. And now I would like to have back on the screen Tseni Vafi, our policy director. And Tseni, always on your capacity of leader of the coordination team, you have been directly assisting our friends at PGE in Poland. And they were the sender of a very moving dispatch in the first days of the conflict, where they managed to welcome some group of families from Kyiv and from Lviv, and we were all touched by their mails reporting about the happiness of this family that could find refuge in a neighboring country. Tseni, have you got also something more on the PGE action that have been fundamental to many extent to the success of our efforts?
Indeed. Thank you, Roberto. You summarized pretty well what's happened and emotional feelings after receiving their emails. And it's a pity actually not to have the colleagues reporting themselves how they experience this kind of help. I can only say that PGE operating in Poland reacted quite soon, quite swiftly actually, after we received the first request to welcome a group of 102 people. And they did from the Polish-Ukrainian border, and they hosted them in the city on E.DSO. The group consisted with family members of employees of DTEK colleagues, and PGE provided accommodation and meals, as well as medical assistance to them. Employees from all PGE branches collected the necessary clothing, footwear, and hygiene products. And not to mention that also some specific meetings were organized to cheer up a little bit the members, like the celebration of International Women's Day or the Orthodox Easter. PGE has also covered the cost of accommodation and meals for 120 people from Ukraine who stayed in another recreation campus in Krasnobrodo. And in addition, the PGE also offered and supplied 410 kilowatt generator to DTEK colleagues. So this is in a nutshell the whole help they offered so far.
Yes, and I shall conclude on this note very much on the private side, and to see relaxed people hosted out of a distressing situation is always very much comfortable and rewarding for those helping. And I would remind here that in the meanwhile, E.DSO Board of Directors decided to free up a considerable amount of money to directly support actions in Ukraine and in favor of our Ukrainian members and colleagues, and that money is coming from the surplus of our financial accounts in 2021. It's not in the area of millions, obviously, but it is anyway an extraordinary effort for an association, and the extraordinary effort for an association, it is some 100,000 euro for the beginning, has been also matched by the generosity of other members that have matched or compensated equal amounts, and obviously all the colleagues that you had on the screen today that have reported about their help in kind, very much substantial, very much needed, very much appreciated. Thank you very much for being there to my colleagues, and thank you very much for the watch.